Here we go again. Right, where's my water? There it is. Water check. Anything else I need here? Apart from looking at this window here as I'm recording and seeing that beautiful sunshine, which I want to be outside in. May take myself out later on for a walk if I get a chance. Oh well, here we go. What a wonderful weekend we've had so far. It was a great weekend. Now I got to sit and talk to you guys for a little bit. I've been looking forward to this. Here we go. Let's get into our podcast. Welcome back once again, guys, to the Moor Army podcast Unleashed. Hope you're all doing well out there. Hope you've all had a great bank holiday weekend since the last time I spoke to you last Thursday. Thank you for all you getting in touch with me over the bank holiday weekend, whether it be positive or negative. Had a lot of negativity over the weekend, but it kind of blocked out, but that's what you like to do. Block out the negativity. Think of the positives. But anyway, yes, good morning. I'm sitting here on Tuesday morning, very tired after a very emotional bank holiday Monday, but yet a very fun bank holiday Monday. It started off fun, but it ended up being a little bit sort of emotional and stressed and whatnot, but we'll not talk about that. We're just trying to ignore that, trying to put the negativity into a basket over in the corner for the meantime and try and think the positivity. But anyway, hello, welcome back once again to another episode of the Moor Army podcast Unleashed. I keep forgetting to say Unleashed every week because I do get a lot of people still who complain about obviously the normal podcast not being here anymore and saying that I'm a wee bit too open-minded and speak a wee bit too much, that I apparently I've got a potty mouth. That's why the podcast is called Unleashed. Now, you picked it, not me, the audience did. But anyway, yes, I hope you all had a great bank holiday weekend. No matter what you were up to, whether you were celebrating the King's Coronation at the weekend, which a lot of you were, some of you weren't, whether you were having the weekend away with your family, spend bank holiday with your family, whether you were working or whatever it is you were up to, hope you all had a great weekend since the last time I spoke to you. And thank you once again, as I said there, for all you getting in contact with me over the last few days. I really do appreciate it. But anyway, what do we got to talk about today? Well, we'll talk about what I was up to at the weekend with my son. Lewis and I had another great weekend. So we did. We had a great Sunday. We were at the Irish Cup final on Sunday. We had a great day. We met so many people there. Yesterday, I spent the day at Mum's house, which was fun. I'm actually going to drop a vlog today from yesterday. Some interesting stuff in that vlog for any of you Elvis Presley fans out there. Yeah, so... Plus, I got loads of your questions to answer today and some stuff that I wanted to talk about today on the podcast. Some subjects I want to talk about. No Jackass of the Week today because obviously it's only for Thursdays. But I got some stuff I want to talk about today on the podcast, which is good. I want to talk about GP surgeries. Doctors, a lot of you are complaining about doctor surgeries and hospitals and whatnot. I've got some updates for you on that. We have been talking about the last couple of months about the cost of living. One of the big major supermarket chains have stepped up, which I think is great. In relation to their products being reduced in price, which is great to see. And obviously, I want to talk about a couple of other things as well over on the podcast today. So, yes, guys, I hope you're all doing well. I have had a great weekend. Well, it was going great until last night. So, I got a couple of things come on at the last minute. So if anybody out there has been trying to contact me or anybody's been trying to get in touch with me, I apologise because it's just been up to my neck. But I'm here now and I'm here to talk to you guys. So before I go any further on the podcast today, if you want to get in touch with us here on the Moor Army podcast, you can by the following methods. I like to call this the housekeeping, by the way, for anybody who's new to the podcast here. By the way, if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music, TuneIn Radio or YouTube, thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. Appreciate it. Subscribe if you're listening to us on YouTube as well, and add us to all your favourite lists on them more platforms. But anyway, if you want to get in touch with us on the programme, which a lot of you do regularly, if you want any questions, anything we talk about, any subjects, whatever it is you want to send me, you bring it on, because this podcast is unleashed. Email, first of all, which is moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Which I opened the email actually this morning and yesterday to find some really good emails there actually, which I replied to this morning with my morning coffee, by the way. So if you have an email in your inbox this morning, that was from me. Hello, ha. You want to contact us on social media, you can, which is the YouTube channel, the Moor Army YouTube channel's Facebook page. Moor Army YouTube channel, drop a like on the page for me as well. Shared some good stuff from the weekend there on the Facebook page. If you also want to contact me on the old Instagram, which majority, that seems to be the main platform you guys contact me on, the old Instagram with your messages. Official Matthew Moore on Instagram. So I got a funny story about Instagram. I got a funny message from a guy at the weekend there. I'll tell you about that in just a wee second. Not that I'm giving my publicity, but it's quite funny actually. Yes, if you want to fucking nightmare. If you want to get some merchandise, guys, for the Moor Army YouTube channel, podcast, and more, you can go to the Moor Army website, which you can check out all the videos throughout the years. Instead of having to go to YouTube and do all the searching, you can do all of that on the Moor Army website, which is moorarmy.co.uk. Yes, so there you go. Yeah, I got that message at the weekend there from a guy on Instagram. I don't know whether he either had a beer in him or he was just generally angry. I think he sounded like he sounded like a Geordie from Newcastle or something like that, but he sounded really, really angry. I was going to play it over the fucking podcast to let you listen to it. It's actually really funny. Who the fuck is this? I tell you, I quote this now, so for the easily offended, if you're tuning this on the podcast, I do swear normally, more than normally, but this is what this guy said along the lines of, who the fuck do you think you are taking the name Matthew Moore? You're not the Matthew Moore. You're not the real Matthew Moore. I'm the real Matthew Moore. Who do you think you are? Blah, blah, blah. It's just like listening to this going, what fucking planet's this guy on? That's nothing compared to the other crap that I got over the weekend from people about the Coronation of the King. But anyway, yeah, this guy stood out the most. Like, who do you think you are? You're not Matthew Moore. You're not the Matthew Moore. I'm the Matthew Moore. And it's like, sound like a fucking wrestling promo from back in the early 90s or late 80s. Oh, the people in this world, they live on another planet. So that they... the laugh at that was so funny. So yes, guys, what a weekend we've had. I did get a little bit of grief on Instagram this past weekend from some of you, should we say, people who don't like King Charles or Camilla. You don't like them, you didn't like it and all that stuff, but that's fine. But some of you were getting a little bit political with me because I posted a wee video I recorded off my television when Charles got his crown put on and stuff, and you know, I didn't really. I only saw that part where he got his crown put on, and then I was doing other things around. I mean, I wasn't like at street parties or going mental like some people were, all out with all their flags and parties and whatever else. Honestly, guys, I spent my Saturday mostly at home watching football and we watched the Liverpool game, and we didn't do very much, to be quite honest. So a lot of you guys for contacting me and saying, you know, I fucking dare you post that on your Instagram, you're a scumbag. And even people were calling me, like, people from Northern Ireland were contacting me as well, calling me all these names and saying I should be ashamed of myself for supporting the king and blah, 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 and why are you celebrating it and all for, and oh, we'll never watch your YouTube channel again. Well, then don't fucking watch my YouTube channel again. Disappear. See you later. Adios, amigo. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. You want to give me negativity? I always tell everybody, don't want to be here, go away. But a lot of you were in contact with me over the weekend on the positive side of it all, saying, you know, send me pictures of your street parties you were at and all your different things you were doing, and I was responding to quite a lot of yous on Saturday night on Instagram. So honestly, guys, if you've had a great weekend celebrating that, then knock yourselves out. I hope you all had a great time. And for the ones who didn't celebrate it, and here's the thing. I knew this was going to happen. I mean, we've talked about this the last couple of weeks in the podcast about these fucking Looney Tunes who are going around protesting over everything and who are offended over everything. Like, really, seriously, like, what the actual fiddlers fuck are these Looney Tunes doing? I seen ones at the weekend, they're doing protesting again Obviously, some of them were protesting against the coronation, which they have a freedom of speech, but some of them were doing these oil protesters again, were like fucking, I don't know why they were super gluing themselves to the road again, or whatever the hell they were doing anyway. They were going boogaloo, some videos posted all over social media over the weekend. These people are just fucking lunatics. Absolute lunatics. So they are. And again, there's been a lot of chat over the weekend about the coronation. You know, people were saying about Meghan not being there. Harry was there, he left on his own. People were saying that the coronation was boring. You know, people were saying all these different things about different people. I even got people from over here making it really political and contacting me and saying, from like say the Protestant community, sending me a photograph saying, or picture, sorry, and text saying, oh look, Sinn Féin's there, they're miserable looking fuckers, blah 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 blah. And there's other ones saying about, oh, they're calling for United Ireland and saying that the English are shit, but they're sitting there at the coronation with big smiles on their face and having the time of their life. Then I got ones from the other side of the community like saying all their stuff about fucking all this. Nah, I'm just like, I'm reading these and I'm just going, fuck this shit, block, 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 block. I keep telling you, I don't get involved in political bullshit. I talk about stuff on this podcast for a reason that's in the news. For example, obviously the coronation was coming up and stuff like that. Harry and Meghan's never in the news. Anything big happens over here in Northern Ireland, I mention it and stuff like that. But I don't go into the whole in-depths of like religious sides and all this crap. You know, so if you're going to start sending me that crap on social media, I'm going to block you. It's as simple and plain as that. But some of you were making good valid points about certain things, and I was reading some of your messages, and I was like, I just don't want to get involved in all that. But for the people who were sending me stuff and saying, we're having a street party here and such, take a photograph. Like, there was a couple from England. Where were they from? Stoke-on-Trent. Can't remember their actual surname, but they sent me a photograph on Instagram of their two children and the husband and wife all together celebrating and saying they loved our YouTube videos and all, and they wanted to send a wee photograph, and they started recently listening to the podcast and etc, and they sent me photographs and all. And that's great, you know what I mean? It's family time, you were bonding, you were having a good time. But then on the other side of the coin, you obviously were going to get the negativity from the people, and obviously people who kind of don't like me, which I just look at that and go, you're just sad, bye bye, block. So at the end of the day, guys, no matter whether you watched it or you liked it or you didn't like it or what your view was at all on it, if you enjoyed the coronation and you had a brilliant time with your friends and family, if you attended the coronation in London, fair play to you. If you didn't like it and you just think it was a load of crap and you thought it was nothing to do with you and you didn't want to celebrate it, blah blah blah, then that's your choice. Now here's the thing I wanted to bring up too as well on the podcast, which a lot of you have been contacting me about as well. Now, as you all probably know, I'm a massive Liverpool supporter. And people have been asking me over the weekend what my view was on the Liverpool supporters booing the national anthem being played at Anfield at the weekend. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion. If I was at the game, which I could have been at the weekend, I was asked to go to the game and I decided not to go. People were asking me, would you have booed? Would you have done this? No. Listen, I don't get involved in the political side of it. You know, people have their choice. I've seen a lot of my personal friends who are Liverpool supporters saying on social media that they were disgusted as a Liverpool fan because people were booing the national anthem at the weekend, and other people were saying like, yeah, we booed it, no, fuck this, fuck that, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, listen, you do whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be, that's fine. You want to boo the national anthem, you go ahead and do that. You want to cheer it, that's fine. Me personally, if I had been there, I was just there for the football, and that's just the truth. I was just there for the football. End of. You know what I mean? And people were sending me on Instagram and Facebook Messenger and all saying like, oh, you should be ashamed to be a Liverpool supporter and all, your team's fucking scum. What was it they were calling us? Bin dipping bastards, and yous are this and that and all, you should be ashamed of yourself. Look, listen, I don't get involved. I go to Anfield for a reason, and that's to watch 22 men kick a ball around a pitch and cheer on my team that I support. I don't get involved in all that political bullshit and all that crap and whatever else. I live a very simple life, you know, and people always ask me, especially from where I'm from in Belfast and all, you know, you should be more involved in knowing what's going on in there. Listen, I take myself away from all that and I just live my life quietly. with my children and my family, and I just don't get involved in all that. Like, I could have sat here all night and talked about it, or all day, sorry, and talked about it on the podcast and get into in-depth, things about why they were booing and, I should be, no. I would have been at that game and I would have just stood there and done nothing, because at the end of the day, I'm just there to watch the football. Simple as. So, for anybody who's been contacting me, thank you very much for contacting me. I do appreciate it. But at the end of the day, my view is I was just there. I would be just there to watch the football. Because even whenever Lewis and I were watching the game, Lewis said to me, "Daddy, why are they booing the national anthem?" And I tried to explain to him in a simple term for him to understand. And he went, "Would you have booed when you were there?" And I went, "Lewis, you know me when I go to Anfield. Even when they sing songs, like I was at the Champions League game this year, just after the game where they made the announcement where, about the whole Champions League final last year with the way Liverpool fans were treated in Paris, and etc., and the fans were singing, what was it they were singing? Fuck UEFA, all that there. And then when they were playing the Champions League theme at Anfield, they were booing and all. Like, don't get me wrong, I was pissed at UEFA because of the way they treated fans that night and the way the French police treated Liverpool fans. We were due to go to that game in Paris, but we decided not to go at the last minute, which was kind of a good thing, because a lot of my good friends were at that game, and them and their kids, like their sons and daughters, were caught up on all that crap. And I think that those French police should be held responsible for their actions. Don't get me wrong, and UEFA should be held responsible too as well, because obviously it's their competition, etc. But at the end of the day, it's people's choice to boo or cheer or sing songs or whatever. When we go there, they always sing F the Tories and things like that. I don't get involved in politics, guys. I go to watch football. You know what I mean? And people might say, "Oh, but Matthew, you're not a real Liverpool fan if you're not fucking cheering." That's your opinion. I support Liverpool. Simple as that. I go to watch 22 men kick a ball around a pitch on a Saturday with a crazy manager, Jurgen Klopp, at the side of the pitch, and I go sing my Never Walk Alones and Liverpool songs, and I have a time of my life. Every time I go to Anfield, I have a time of my life, and I meet new people while I'm there, people who recognise us from the blogs, and I have an absolute ball while I'm there. So I don't get involved in politics and bullshit and all that there. I go and watch football. Simple as that. So just thought I'd clear that up today on the podcast, because a lot of you have been contacting me about it, and I don't really want to get involved in all that nonsense. So, but overall, Liverpool won at the weekend. It wasn't a great game, but they won 1-0, which is most importantly. And Man United got beaten Sunday, which is great. So we're only 1 point behind them now. So you never know, we might get Champions League football afterwards. Here's the thing: I had Tony around on Thursday night. Sorry, I'm clearing my throat here. I had Tony around on Thursday night for a couple of beer. Well, Tony didn't drink any beer. He came round to visit. So yeah, I had Tony around Thursday night. We were talking, I think I've said this before to you guys. He's a Newcastle supporter. I was saying to him, "Do you realise my Thursday nights where I have a beer and all is going to be messed up next season because of that bloody Newcastle team of yours?" And he says, "What do you mean?" I said, "If we get the Europa League next year, which is Thursday night football, I'm going to be spending my beer night Thursday night in Liverpool." And he went, "Well, what the fuck's wrong with that?" And he went, "Well, that's true." He said, "But then I don't really want to go out to a bar and go to a club and get drunk and act like a tit then." He goes, "Well, you get your freedom from your kids and let your hair down." And I went, "What fucking hair?" You'd be playing Champions League football, we'll be in the Thursday night club, Europa League football. And he went, "Nah," he says, "you'll be alright. I think you'll take 4th place." I says, I hope so. So, but no, listen, fair play to Newcastle. I respect Newcastle. Massive club. One of my favourite players of all time plays for Newcastle. Well, he used to play for Newcastle. So, yeah, really, really happy for if they do get into the Champions League this year, because they've had a great season. Fair play to them. But moving away from football and stuff, but yeah, Tony was around Thursday night. Had a good night. Didn't stay too long. He went home early. So I had a good night on Thursday night. A couple of beers. Played some darts. Didn't do very much. Just sort of chilled out and stuff. So it was good. Had a really good Thursday night. But anyway, yes, moving on. What else were up to at the weekend? Oh yes, Sunday, Lewis and I were up at the Irish Cup final on Sunday. Great day out. We were VIPs. Want to go and watch the vlog back, guys? It's on the channel. Lewis and I were VIPs at the Irish Cup final in Belfast, Windsor Park. Crusaders beat Ballymena 4-0. I actually put up a YouTube short last night on the channel of one of the goals, which was just fucking world class. What a finish from Heatley. What a fantastic goal. Go and watch the short, or even watch the vlog. we met a lot of people who followed us. I met one particular guy I got meeting at the very start when we first went into the lounge. He came over and shook my hand. And he says, I only get round to watching your channel last night for the first time. I says, what? And he goes, I found the vlog from last year's final. We were at the same teams, and I came across it, and I've been watching all your videos all night since. And I went, oh, okay, good lad. Like, chatting away to him. Apparently he played a bit of football himself in the Irish League, so nice lad. Ran into a load of people. I was looking for one particular follower, wee Joe, who's a big time follower of the YouTube channel and the podcast, whatever else. And I was looking for him, big Crusaders fan, couldn't find him. But overall, it was a great day. Very proud of a friend of mine who plays for Crusaders, Jordan Forsyth, who's now won his 3rd Irish Cup, which is fucking great for Jordy. He's such a good lad. I'm really happy to see him. I got to see him at the end in the stand. He came into the stand to see his family, so me and Lewis ran down to see him. And I got a big hug from him and whatnot, and Lewis got a hug off him and all, and we had an absolute ball. Cup final was a great day. So it was. Ran to so many people who watched the vlogs. People were coming and saying hello to us, wanting pictures, and it was just a great day. Really, really good day. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So I did. We got chatting with a couple of people who we knew from football. We got chatting to some people who are very well known in the celebrity world, should we say. We saw the Northern Ireland manager there as well. We had just an overall great day. It was just a really, really good day. And not even just for the football, it was Lewis enjoyed himself. Lewis took his camera with him, got some really good photographs. Just had a really good day. It was just, I was feeling, honestly guys, even when I was recording the podcast last Thursday, I was feeling a bit rough around the edges. And then on Thursday night, I had a few beers, and I got up on Friday and was just feeling a bit, the last couple of days I was just feeling a bit tired and run down and yuck. And okay, I had a couple of beers on Thursday night and I felt a bit better after that, and I just didn't feel overly great. I was supposed to go out on Saturday to a barbecue and a birthday party, a 60th birthday, which I actually didn't end up going to. I just felt so run down and beaten up and tired, and I just wanted to go to bed, and I did. And I just felt so run down, so I did, and I just thought, so I went to bed on Saturday night, had a really good sleep, got up, and I went on Saturday to the cup final, and I just had a good day. I felt so much better, not overly better 100%, but I felt a wee bit better than what I did. So I had a beer at the cup final, I had a good time with Lewis, came home on Sunday night, had a couple more, actually ended up having a couple more beers, and then I went to bed. I've just this last week or so I've been feeling really tired. I think it's because of all the travelling and work and late nights and everything else under the sun, just constant. So, but yeah, I'm really, really glad to be feeling a bit better. I'm still a bit tired today, a bit rough around the edges still, but I'll be grand. I'll be all good now. So well, but overall Sunday was a good day. And then yesterday I went on to Mum's house for we had a laugh at Mum's yesterday. Bank holiday Monday. Here's the thing, guys. I'm going to ask you this here. Is there anybody out there afraid of thunder and lightning? I'm being deadly serious. Is there anybody out there who doesn't like thunder or lightning? Ever since I was a wee kid, I always remember my mum actually hating, I don't use that word very often, hating two things in life. One was the sound of thunder in the sky, and the second one is cotton wool. Mum can't touch cotton wool for shit. If you come at Mum with a big thing of cotton wool, she will scream. She hates the feel of it. She hates the touch of it. And also thunder. Like here in Northern Ireland yesterday, we had a wee bit of thunder and really, really heavy rain. And I don't even know why there's any lightning or not, but I didn't see any lightning. But I'm about to drop a vlog here today. It'll be out, probably, if you haven't seen it, it'll probably be on the channel now, but after you hear this or before you hear this, whatever. I got a couple of clips of Mum sitting. She always used to panic like mad. She puts the pillows over her ears or her fingers in her ears. She fucking hates thunder. She hates it with a passion. And I caught it on video yesterday. And Dad was singing to her wee songs and with the words thunder and all in it, and she wasn't best pleased. But yeah, I mean, Lewis and I went round there yesterday to spend the afternoon with them. I had say the afternoon. I didn't get home till like fucking 8 o'clock last night. But we had a good day around Mum and Dad's. We had a good laugh and stuff, and Dad was still. You have to watch the vlog, guys. Dad has this unique, rare Elvis Presley collection, which you'll see in the vlog. Was I managed to get a bit on video. It's actually older than Tony. I think the collection's older than me, but he hasn't had it in his possession. He got it in his possession a few years before he had Tony. So it's actually older than what was me and Tony, but the long amount of time he's had it. So any Elvis Presley fans out there, you need to go and check it out. It's really, really cool. It's going to be a good video to watch. But a good day at Mum's. It was really, really good fun. So, but that was pretty much what we get up to, guys, over the weekend period there. It was quite good. And then obviously a couple of things happened last night and today as well. So a couple of personal things that went at the last minute, which is not good. But we're trying to. I'm trying to sort of focus on something else to try and take my mind off things. But I've been asking more about Dad as well. Dad's doing okay. You'll actually see him more in the vlog that I'm putting up on the channel today. You'll see more of Dad, because Dad's doing okay. A lot of you keep asking about him. He's doing really, really well. Can't complain. Mum's doing his head in, but apart from that, she's doing his head in because, you can't do this, you can't do that. And Dad's just looking at her going. Like yesterday, I cracked a joke with her. I says, we were talking about the time last week, or the week before last, me and Lewis were in Wigan. We were playing bowling. If you haven't checked out all those vlogs from Wigan and Chester, go back and check them. Out in England, and we're over there for a few days. And I sent to Dad about 10-pin bowling and stuff, and Mum's like, he can't play 10-pin bowling anymore, and he can't do this, and he can't do... I mean, Mum, you can't fucking wrap him in cotton wool. For anybody who doesn't know, Dad had a heart attack a while back, and he's grand now. He's had a stent and all put in and all, but Mum seems to think that he's wrapping fucking cotton wool now, and he can't go out the door, and he can't lift anything, and he can't go anywhere and all. Okay, you have to rest and all and recuperate and everything else, but that's understandable. But Mum thinks his life's pretty much over and he has to not move and whatever else. And I keep saying to her all the time, Mum, you can't wrap him in cotton wool. So the joke yesterday was, I said, Mum, see that cotton wool you've got? Yeah, Dad's going to fucking take it off him and wrap it around your ankles and tie it to the lamppost outside and hang you upside down because you're pissing him off. It's just like, what? Because you're pissing him off because you can't wrap him in cotton wool for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? She's like, but he has to be careful. Mum's a worrier. That's the thing. My mum literally fucking worries about everything. She would worry about the slightest wee thing. Anything she sees on the news is gospel. She comes from a generation, guys, where she sees anything in the news and she thinks it's automatically true. Then she'd be on the phone to you going, did you see that news tonight? Did you see about such and such and all? And I'd be kind of like, Mum, I don't watch the news anymore because of all that fucking COVID bullshit lies that them bastards fed out to us. I was even worse during COVID. Oh my God, 55 new cases, son, 100 cases. And I'm going, it's a lot of briefcases, isn't it? I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't watch the news no more. She's a worrier. She stresses over the stupidest shit at times. That's another thing I was saying to her yesterday as well. And she was like, I don't. Yeah, you do. You worry about everything, mother. You need to calm yourself down. So, but that was pretty much what we get up to. So yeah, it was a pretty good weekend. And by the way, before I continue on with some of the subjects I want to talk about on the podcast today, anybody who came up to us at the weekend and said hello to us and wanted a picture and was praising our vlogs and saying hello to us and were saying they were thankful to find our channel and they loved our videos and they listened to the podcast every week. Guys, honestly, even people who were contacting me on social media saying that they didn't want to come up and bother us on our day out at the cup final and stuff, I've said this 1,000 times. If you see us in public, don't think you can never come near us. We're not these type of YouTubers or people who know us that we're going to turn around and tell you to sling your hook. No. I don't care whether there's 1 is or 50 is walk up to us. You want to come up and say hello to us, we will stop and make time for every single person we meet, because at the end of the day, it's you guys that make our channel tick. It's your guys that, whether you download or stream or watch this on YouTube or whatever, this podcast is going because of you guys. So never ever think, because there was quite a few. It's actually Instagram me, Facebook message me, saying, but then want to come up and spoil your day. You're having fun with your son. No, let me tell you something. I've said this before. I'll say this again. We don't care where we are. You want to come and say hello to us? Do it. It was the same at the WWE shows. Even that signing at the Castle Court shopping centre in Belfast. We were meeting Bianca Belair from WWE. A lot of people were coming up and saying, "Can we get a selfie?" Yeah, of course you can. We met people who were like very intimidated to come up and say hello to us. Don't come up and say hello. We want to meet new people. We want to hear your story. We want to talk to you, and because I get all these emails all the time from different people saying, that our vlogs help them get through their day, or my podcast on a Tuesday and Thursday takes their mind off things for a couple of days or a couple of hours, whatever. Listen, come up and say hello, because we love meeting new people from all walks of life. Even if it's just a quick 5-minute conversation, whatever it is you want to say or chat about. Listen, I appreciate that more than you will ever, ever, ever know. And here's the thing, guys. Lewis even mentioned this to me one time. He goes, "Daddy, what would you ever do if your channel had a few million subscribers and you were that famous where you couldn't even go anywhere, you were stopped everywhere?" And all? I'd be like, I wouldn't care. I'd still stop and talk to people. How you doing? How's it going? Nice to meet you. Thank you for watching our channel. Appreciate it. Blah, blah. Look, listen, I've had wee lads come up to me at the ice hockey last season wanting me to sign their tickets and sign stuff for them and take a picture and whatever. And I'm like, I'm just me. And they're all like, "But yeah, you're this big YouTuber guy." And I'm going, I'm me. Listen, you want to come and say hello, get a picture? Not a problem. You want to talk away? I'll talk to you all night. I love talking. Come and chat to me. I love meeting new people. Love it. So, for anybody who sent me messages over the weekend, don't ever think if you see us in public you can't come up and say hello. Just come up and say hello. No matter what age you are or where you're from or whatever, I'll stop and I will talk to you. No matter what it is. You want to talk about anything in particular? We'll talk about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I appreciate all your messages, guys. So, anybody who stopped us over the weekend, unbelievable. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Right, what have I got to talk about today? Flip me, I've been talking quite a bit before even going on to the bloody subjects. Half an hour already. Jesus, Moses. Unbelievable. Right, let's get into one here that a lot of you have been sort of bringing up the subjects over the last couple of weeks about hospitals and treatment and not getting to see your doctor and whatever else out there. And a lot of people have been saying to me, "Matthew, what's your view on this? Can you get to see your GP?" And look, let me tell you something. Ever since this fucking COVID malarkey came out, which, by the way, have you saw them? Did you see the story on that the other day? That apparently they've brought it down now as an even less risk than the flu and the cold now. It's been brought right down now near the bottom of the list, which I've been telling you for months is going to happen. So people are starting to get back to more normal now. But in saying that, there is people out there who are still living in fucking fear, which I think is bullshit. I went into a shop the other day and I was like, "Oh, I see you've took your glass screens down." And there was two girls standing there. The wee young girl, I'd say she's probably in her early 30s, looked at me and she went, "Oh yeah, thank God," she says. And then the other girl, who was probably 50s, 60s maybe, looked at me and went, "Oh God, no, I want them back up again." And I'm like, "Can I ask you why?" And she goes, "Because of COVID." And I'm like, and she had a mask on. And I was like, "Oh my fucking Lord tonight, seriously." And the wee young girl just rolled her eyes at me and walked away. And like, thanks for serving us, love, appreciate it. And I'm just like, some people are just still living in fear, which is sad. But they announced the other day, the government and all announced it as well, that COVID's been brought down the list as the very least thing now to worry about. I've been saying this for a long time. We're going to fucking live with it. But anyway, back to the doctor's surgeries. This is going to be a big subject for people to talk about. Apparently now they're getting pharmacies now to free up GP time. It says here, the story entitled this morning, "Antibiotics, etc. will be prescribed at pharmacies to free up GP time." More people will be able to access the health services without heading to see a GP under a plan launched by the officials in England for all of Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland and England. It asks patients to use high street pharmacies for some common drug prescriptions and routine tests to ease the pressure of busy doctors. NHS England says it's planned to free up £15 million GP appointments over the next 2 years, around 2% of the total. Let me tell you something. This is my view on this, and I've been saying this for weeks to people I met in public as well, and people I know personally. GPs Well, my GP surgery have became fucking lazy. And do you want to know why I'm saying this now? You probably think, oh my God, he's being extreme. Let me tell you something. Trying to get a GP appointment since COVID has been a fucking nightmare, right? The time, guys, I put this out in my YouTube channel. I had a wee incident beforehand where I had a scare and I ended up at hospital, and I talked about it I described what happened to me, right? And I described what the thing that I went through. My GP surgery wouldn't see me, right? So they sent me to the Ulster Hospital, right? There was people sitting in that A&E, right, who wouldn't be seen by their GP surgeries. Little simple things that GP surgeries could normally deal with before COVID, right? This is a true story. And people were sitting there and who were in emergency situations, and were in situations like myself who were in need of like emergency stuff to be dealt with, whatever else. But there's people there who could have been dealt with by surgeries, but surgeries were fobbing them off and sending them up to the fucking A&E, which was then packing up the A&E, which means people who were in general need of an accident and emergency, or situations like myself who needed to have procedures done to them right away to get treatment, whatever else, which surgeries can't do. They were all left sitting in car parks and sitting in ambulances and hallways and things like that, because GP surgeries weren't seeing people anymore. And when they were asking them the reason why they wouldn't see you, the same bullshit. COVID restrictions, COVID rules, all these things changed since this bullshit came around in 2020. I've spoke to loads of people who are waiting weeks and months to get a doctor's appointment. Or if not, they're being fobbed off to other hospitals, which is then blocking up A&E, and people get into the hospital like my dad did when he had his heart attack recently, was left to sleep in a fucking corridor because there's no people looking after them. Then the staff is quitting because they're being underpaid and underappreciated. They're working so many hours that they're basically nearly collapsing off their feet. Ever since this COVID stuff came around, GP surgeries, in my opinion, like even, and all of a sudden, since when did a fucking receptionist at a GP surgery become an expert? A receptionist? Like when you ring up now, like I rang up one time for an appointment, and she was asking me questions that my doctor would ask me, and I'm going to myself, excuse me, that's kind of personal. I want to speak to the doctor about that. Oh no, you speak to me. And I actually said to the girl, no disrespect to you, darling, but you're a receptionist. You're not a qualified doctor. Oh, but the surgery has rules now. And I went, really? Rules? Well, let me speak to my doctor then. Oh, the doctor's not available to speak to you right now. But I'm like, are you fucking serious? I spoke to a lot of people. I'm on my personal Facebook. I've even seen people post stuff online saying they're having to wait 6, 7, 8 weeks for an appointment for a GP, and then before it comes to the time, they're being fobbed off to the hospital, which the hospital's already short-staffed as it is, because half the staff's either quitting or they're walking out, or during the time they were told get a job or get a job or have no fucking job. The whole thing's a complete mess, and they've brought this thing out today. This morning they're saying about this. Now chemists are going to get involved. Is there qualified GPs and chemists? I don't think there is. Do you? My opinion is it's a whole big mess up. You ring your GP surgery, you're trying to get through, you can't get an appointment anymore, and when you do get through to someone who's just a receptionist is trying to give medical advice out to people, or they're just saying, oh, go to the Ulster Hospital. When before COVID, you could get that treatment at your, like, say, your local surgery or your treatment rooms in the surgery and whatnot, and now you can't because they're just fobbing you off, which I think is ridiculous. And now they're saying about this going to the pharmacies and stuff. Guys, I want to hear your view on this. What's your experience been like since 2020 about getting a GP appointment and stuff like that? Let me hear you on moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com, the email, or send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. I may actually even put this story up today on the social media and let me know what you think about it, because at the end of the day, guys, see, since this COVID crap came around, it's been kind of like, you can't still do this and you can't do that. All these things have changed, and every time, not even just the health service, everything in general, and you ask them why it's changed, because of COVID. Really? what the there's things I stand sometimes and I put my head in my hands and I look at it and go, what the like, seriously, why? GP surgeries, in my opinion, have become very lazy. I was overseeing, the last time I was at the surgery was what? I don't know how long ago it was, about a year or so ago. I'm actually on a waiting list at the minute for potential surgery on my hamstrings. I'll tell you the story, guys. Back in 2001, yes, early 2001, I think it was about a month or so before I met Brooke and Lewis's mum. Believe it or not, actually, they wouldn't know by looking at me now, but I used to go to a gym years ago. It's now changed its name. It used to be called Fitness First at the time. And when I started working in the care homes back in the year 2000, I got a gym membership. I look back at some of the photographs of me back then, how trim I was and how well I looked. I used to be at the gym 3-4 days a week. And this one time I signed up for a personal trainer for a couple of weeks to try and sort of get me a plan and a diet and things like that. And everything was going great and I was doing really, really well. And everything was going well. And then this one day in the week, he would always say to me, right, Matthew, I've got this wee warm-up set up for you here. You know, you do this, and this to sort of get your body warmed up before you do your workout and things like that. And I was like, right, okay, cool. So you'd done obviously all your stretches, and one of the wee warm-ups at the time was like a light jog on a treadmill. Like a light jog to sort of get your heart rate up and things like that. I was going really, really well. But this one particular day, and you got to remember, this is back in 2001, where all gym equipment was obviously a little bit more advanced and all now compared to what it used to be. So I'm just doing this wee small light jog on the treadmill, and all of a sudden this is what it felt like, guys. It actually felt like I was shot with a gun in the back of my legs. Both my hamstrings exploded on the treadmill. I fell down flat on my face and rubbed my face right across the rubber of the fucking treadmill, fell off and onto the floor. I actually felt like someone had sniper rifled me from like fucking 50 feet away. Both my hamstrings popped and I ended up down on the ground, and the PT and another guy helped me up into the wee room thing they have for accidents and whatever else. And ever since that, my hamstrings have never been the same. They've always been like really knotty and sore and, you know, always in pain. And even when I'm lying down for a certain period of time where I'm sitting down, my hamstrings lock and I have to jump up and stretch out. Sometimes I'm actually like a pregnant woman in bed at night. With all the women out there who probably listen to this podcast will understand the cramp that you get in your legs when you're pregnant. I'm like that sometimes, where I have to jump out of bed at night with major cramp in my legs, so my hamstrings lock and I'm up and I'm fucking hobbling around the room like an old man at 95. You know what I mean? But that's just ever since that. And I didn't go to any treatment back then or any physio back then. I just sort of sat around for a week or two and then iced it and basically get up and get on because I had to go to work. So that's my old mentality now. And this is what I keep telling my kids. You know, because you get these ones now who break a nail and they're off work for 6 weeks and they're fucking boo-hooing and crying. In my day, you strapped it up and get on with it, and that was it. You got a living there, and so go out there and do it. So that's what I done. But as the years have went by, guys, I've started to struggle more now because of it. My hamstrings are legitimately killing me sometimes, where I have to get ice baths and ice them and stuff. So I went to the surgery there recently to get them checked out again, and they're potentially looking to maybe do some hamstring surgery, which is something I'm wanting to do. But again, if it's going to benefit me in the long run, then so be it. But even then, when I went to the surgery, come back to what I was saying there about the surgeries and stuff, you know, even when I went back then, I mean, there were people, even I was sitting in the waiting room that day to be seen, and people were sitting there going, I've been waiting 7 weeks for this appointment. I seen people walking out that day shaking their head going, why won't this fucker see me? Now I'm being involved to go to the hospital. Like, seriously? Like, what is the difference since then and now why GP surgeries can't be the same as what they were before pre-COVID? Like, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, what is the actual difference? And now the government said it's right down near the bottom of the list now of things to be worried about compared to normal flus and fucking colds and everything else. I give up. I really do, guys. Let me know what you think about this whole GP surgery stuff today. It was brought out in the news today. MoorArmyPodcast@yahoo.com, or contact me on social media. I really would appreciate, obviously, hearing from you what you think about that. One RV story today, it's caught my eye as well, which is great. Now, I know we've been talking about this quite a lot, about the cost of living and the cost of food and gas and electric, and I've heard all your different stories, guys, over the last lot of weeks. So I'm just trying to get comfortable in this bloody chair here. I'm sitting in a very uncomfortable chair as I'm recording this podcast this morning. A lot of you have been getting in contact with me and stuff about all your ways of how you've been struggling to get by and pay your mortgages and, you know, pay for food and pay for electric and gas and the prices of things going up and whatnot. Well, it's all a bit of good news today. for anybody who, shops in Sainsbury's. And kudos to Sainsbury's for doing this here. I actually applaud them for it. It says here this morning, supermarket chain Sainsbury's have cut the price of its own brand of bread and butter. The supermarket is reducing its own branded salted butter from prices down, salted butter being one. Wholesale prices have also been falling as well, which is great. They're bringing them down by 10% each month. And it says here, it's going through the article, they're looking to do more price drops in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for Sainsbury's. They're the ones that actually stepped up and brought the prices of their products down because they're trying to help with the cost of living. So listen, fair play to Sainsbury's for doing that. I don't really shop in Sainsbury's that much, but if it is going to be cheaper than Tesco's and everywhere else, then happy days. You know what I mean? Because people are looking, obviously, all different ways to try and save money, and cost of living's obviously through the roof and whatnot. And this is where, guys, I talked about this before. I'm a type of guy that I only spend when I need to. You know what I mean? I try my best to do everything as cheap as possible. Everything. I mean, like everything, including like trips away and days out with the kids and things from home. And I try and do everything as cheap as possible. I've always been like that. Even when I was broke, like when I was married, I was always working loads and loads and loads, but my money was gone before I even got it. That's another story for another day. But even when I went out on my own again after my marriage ended, I ended up flat broke with nothing. I didn't have fucking 2p to rub together. I didn't have nothing. I was living on my brother's sofa with nothing. And now, obviously, I've got a home and things I got it built up over the years, but I've done everything cheap, guys. Okay, people might look at my videos on YouTube and go, "Oh, he's got a lovely home." Let me tell you something. I do things on the cheap. I do try to do things as cheap as possible, especially now with everything being so fucking expensive. So fair play to Sainsbury's for stepping up, guys. I do appreciate them obviously stepping up and obviously trying to, try and make people's lives a little bit more easier, because at the end of the day, it is costing a lot of money out there at the minute for even just general stuff. I mean, I went into a shop the other day and saw a container of milk, 2 litres of milk for £2 fucking pound. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, seriously? What is going on? It's mad. Absolutely crazy. Some of the prices. But fair play to Sainsbury's. Fair play to them. Tip my hat to you. And here's hoping that other supermarkets do the same. Right, what we want to talk about today on the podcast as well, before I go today, is this weekend. Well, it starts, is it the semi-finals tonight? I think it's tonight. But the big grand finals this weekend. The Eurovision Song Contest is back. I'm a little bit cheesed off the fact that I'm not actually there this year because it's in Liverpool. But after I saw the prices of tickets, I think I'll just have a Eurovision party in the house with Brooke like I always do every year. Fucking believable, the prices of tickets. As you all know, Lewis and I were in Liverpool last week. We only spent a couple of hours there every day because obviously we're away on our day trips and stuff like that. But me and Lewis were out walking on the final night. We were just having a walk around the Albert Dock and stuff, and we saw all the stuff being put up for Eurovision and stuff, and some of the stuff they put up even this week, big stages and all, and outside in the streets, and all the whole city's buzzing for Eurovision. Most expensive concert in the world to host, by the way, guys. And you know about the fucking ticket prices too. That's why a lot of countries avoid trying to host it. The reason why it was being held in the UK this year is because obviously Ukraine won it last year and they can't hold it because they're in the middle of a fucking war. But yeah, no, Eurovision's this weekend, guys. A lot of people are not fans of Eurovision Song Contest, but I'm not a massive fan, but I've always watched it for the fun and the crack and seeing different artists from all across Europe and different walks of life and things like that. And ever since Brooke was a wee girl, we used to always sit and watch it every year. Brooke and I, we watched it every single year together, apart from the year it was cancelled because of COVID and whatever else. But we watch it every year, and it's kind of fun because you see you always find wee songs that sort of catch your eye and you go, that's not a bad wee song. Like, for example, a couple of years ago, a long time ago actually, when I used to do radio presenting, I was a radio presenter in a local radio station years ago. And I remember like a couple of years, was it 2 Eurovisions I worked there, I was working through them, and there was a couple of wee songs that caught people's eyes, and they were like texting into the show and saying, oh, could you play that wee song we heard in Eurovision the other night? Or I played it anyway. It was great. But some of the stuff, like there's been a lot of big acts that have come out of Eurovision over the years, and like Ireland's even won the fucking Eurovision Song Contest. All these different people have won it over the years, but it's been a long time since it's been held in the UK or Ireland even, and it's being held in Liverpool this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. But this is the story I was telling you there. Whenever I was in Liverpool one time, I think it was actually announced that morning, we were about to leave Liverpool, or we were checking into Liverpool that day, I think it was, me and Liz were over for a match. And I said to the guy, we're in one of these wee places we stay in, and I says, Eurovision's been announced this morning, much as one of your wee apartments for that weekend? And he went, £1,000. I went, are you fucking serious, man? £1,000 for a figure? Well, Eurovision is in town, that's why. So we were walking through the dock last week, Lewis and I, through the Albert dock, and I said to Lewis, pull out your phone there and get booking.com up there and have a wee nosy around, see what the hotels were. A fraction of the price. They were right down in price, obviously, because a lot of people are probably just coming into the city for the night and then leaving. So obviously the prices were so bad and so extreme. But tickets, even for the semi-final, which is tonight, is excruciating money. But listen to this here. This is why it's the most expensive concert to host. The Liverpool Arena in Liverpool is a beautiful arena, and I saw a wee glimpse of inside what the stage and all looks like, and it looks incredible. But anyway, all the tickets for the floor and the tiers and all are all sold out. They were mega bucks. But then Lewis said, Daddy, look at this on Ticketmaster. One seat for one of the not the premium boxes, just the normal boxes in the arena. Have a listen to this here. £45,000 for one fucking ticket. And I'm like, what are they on? Are they on glue or something? 45 fucking grand for a ticket. I'm like, are you serious? I was like, Lewis, it must be 4,500, like 4,500. He went, no, Daddy, look, and he handed me his phone, and I went, I'll tell you what they could do with their 45 grand. What are they going to be giving me? A fucking Rolex watch and new suits and all to go with that as well, as long as my food and drink and all too as well. 45. Even if I was a millionaire, I still wouldn't pay that. Now, I am kind of disappointed, guys, because I always promised Brooke that I would take her to Eurovision, whether it be in the UK or wherever it would be. When it was announced for Liverpool, I did register interest for tickets, but then when I saw the prices of the tickets, I was like, not a chance. Mega bucks. So it is. But listen, we'll be watching it this weekend. Brooke and I will be watching it. I think her boyfriend will probably be here too as well. We'll have a good laugh. We'll watch all the funny acts, and we'll just have a really, really good night. So we will. So, but yeah, no, I have a lot of fond memories of Eurovision back in the day, and it's not for everybody, but it's good fun. It's a night we can just watch, and you see some of the music acts, and you go, how the fuck did they get on that concert? Seriously, you sort of look at your family and go, here, how'd that one get on there? Like, it's just, it's good fun. Some people do go all out for it, like Eurovision parties, and go mad and just. But listen, it's a bit of crack and banter. I mean, I'll be watching it this weekend for a bit of laugh and fun. It'll be all good. So it will be. But I'm looking forward to it. Anybody out there who is a Eurovision fan, do you have any fond memories of it back in the day? Let me know, and I'll try and read a couple of them back out to you on Thursday's podcast. Let me know what you think about that, because, at the end of the day, guys, it's all for a bit of fun. You know what I mean? I remember sitting watching Eurovision with Mum and Dad and all when I was smaller. They don't watch it as much now, to be quite honest. I actually got a question that stood out for me on Instagram, actually, from a regular listener. It was a young lad. What's his name again? I'll check and get it up here when I'm talking to you, because he emails questions every single week. I'll have a look here and see your Instagram messages. There's there. Ryan McCauley, he says to me, he was talking about obviously enjoying the podcast as well. He says, quick question, are you watching the Eurovision Song Contest this weekend? If so, who's your favourite in the song contest to win it? Kind regards, Ryan. Honestly, I haven't really been following it much this year because I've been too bloody busy, but obviously I'm going to be cheering on the likes of the UK and stuff like that there, so I'll be looking forward to it. So I'm actually looking forward just to sort of having a good time and just literally having a good night and putting my feet up and just enjoying myself. So it will be. So it's all good. I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. Right, let's get into some of the emails, guys, and let's answer some of your messages you've been sending me over the last couple of days and stuff here. Let's have a wee look here and see. I'll start off with Instagram today. Let's have a wee look here and see. Right, I've one here from Shane. Yes, Shane. I don't know where he's from though, just his Instagram handle. Just says, "Hi Matthew, just wanted to drop a wee quick message to say hello to you. I am currently in the moment of buying my first house. I am 21 years of age and starting off after moving out of my parents' house a few weeks ago. I am currently waiting for the final details of my property to come through to buy my very first home." Congratulations, as I say to him. Congratulations. Just wanted to ask you for some advice on how you started out on your own when you first moved out of the family home. Any tips and advice would be really, really appreciated. Thanks for taking the time to read my message. Enjoy the podcast. Love all the videos. Keep up the good work, mate. And a big thumbs up at the end. Right. He's bought his first house at 21. Fair play to him. I bought my first house when I was what? 22? 23? 22? 23. 23 actually, yes. 23. My first, with the completion went through. I moved out. I'll tell you a story. Actually, I moved out, tried to move out when I was 17, and then I had to move back home for a couple of months because I couldn't, for a while because I couldn't afford it because of the cost then back then. Obviously, I wasn't getting very much money at the time. I was only working part-time. I was either 17 or 18 I moved out. But I was gone not long after that again when I moved in with Brooke and Lewis's mum. And then we bought our first house after that as well and stuff. But all I can say to you is, when you move into your very first house for the first time, be very smart with your money. Like, legitimately be smart with your money. Don't overspend. If you want something bad enough, save for it. Don't try and keep yourself at as less debt as possible. I kind of fell myself into that loop. Having an ex-wife who loved to spend before, obviously, we got it. But that's another story for another day. But honestly, be careful with your money, especially in this day and age where everything's so expensive. Try to get your home, if you're moving into a new property which has very little work to do to it at a time, obviously enjoy that, because obviously you can put your own mark on it as time goes on. As you go through the years, obviously you'll put your own mark on it. If it's a house that you're moving into, or an apartment, whatever it is you're moving into, needs a lot of work done to it, then obviously take your time at it. Don't overspend. Try and look at the other aspects of budgeting. Try and do it as cheap as possible, because at the end of the day, it will cost you an absolute fortune. But just try and be smart when it comes to spending money. If you need any advice on certain things, where to go and get some cheaper, drop me our message. Any questions at all, I'll try my best to help you. Just try and be very, very smart with your money. That's a key thing. Good luck in your new home, and I hope it works out for you. And it's good to hear from you, and I hope everything works out for you in your first home. Get the keys complete. 21, bought his first house at 21. Fair play to him. Kudos. There's a lot of 21-year-olds out there who haven't even bought their first house. They're too busy out there fucking supergluing themselves to the roads and tying themselves to lampposts and shouting and screaming about oil and gas and everything else. So at least this person seems to have their head screwed on. So thanks for your message, appreciate it, and thanks for all the support, and good luck in your new home. Keep me posted. Obviously want to hear more from you, obviously, how you're getting on in your new home. Right, let's get into another one here. Let's have a look. Right, I've one here from Rachel. Rachel, let's have a look at your profile and see where you're from. Doesn't say. Rachel, what's the surname? Statham? I think that's her surname, Statham. It says, hello Matthew, how you doing? Sorry to bother you on your day today. Thank you for taking the time to read this message. I really do appreciate it. I've been podcasting myself now for the last 4 years, but don't seem to have a big enough following like yourself. Just wanted to know how you managed to get your podcast to grow so quickly and so fast. Any tips would be really appreciative. Thanks for taking the time to read my message, Rachel. Well, the reason why I probably get so many listens is because of people who watch my YouTube channel. They've obviously come over and started listening to the podcast. I get a lot of messages from different people saying to me, they've told their friends at work and they've told their friends this and that, because podcasts are very, very popular nowadays. It's all about your audience, how you engage your audience, and if you send me a link to your podcast, I'll certainly have a listen to it. Anything at all to help, it's just, you got to be driven. It's all about promoting your podcast as well. I mean, I post this podcast on all different wee things on social media. we different like Facebook pages and things like that there. But because I had such a good following on YouTube, people have obviously came across, and I've been quite lucky and fortunate. I'm not a massive podcaster, but as weeks have went by, the numbers have shown. I mean, even going back to a couple of weeks ago where I had, the two different podcasts, where Tuesday was obviously the family-friendly one, and then Thursday was the Unleashed one. But then a lot of people, the numbers were starting to drop on the normal one because people didn't really want to hear that type of podcast from me because they know I'm a straight shooter. And that's why I asked them about, what do you prefer, Unleashed or whatever? And everybody wanted to do an Unleashed podcast twice a week, so that's pretty much it. It's all about engaging with your audience too as well. Your social media posts, put out stuff there, asking them questions, asking to be a participant in the show, asking people to participate by sending them in questions or whatever else, or making suggestions. Like we have Jackass of the Week on Thursday. We'll ask people to make a suggestion who should be the Jackass of the Week. It's all about building your audience with, building a relationship with your audience. So, but certainly send me a link over to your podcast. I'll have a wee listen to it. And if you need any more advice, whatever, give us a wee shout. So I do appreciate, obviously, your support for listening to me. And I hope you're having a great day. So thank you very much for that message. I do appreciate it. Right, I'll do one more Instagram before I go. Let's have a look here and see. See, this is the thing about pisses me off about Instagram lately. You go into your messages with people who you follow, and you get your message requests, which I do go in all the time and have a look, because it's a lot of you guys who send me messages asking questions and stuff. But they put this wee thing at the very bottom called hidden requests. Strange. Well, sure, let's move on here to another one here. Let's have a look here and see. Right, I've got one here from Carlos. Yes, Carlos. Carlos, let me have a look and see where you're from. Carlos. Carlos is from South London. Hello, Carlos. How you doing? Hi, Matthew. Just wanted to say, hey, came across your podcast 4 weeks ago while searching through Spotify. Absolutely love your content. Love the fact that you shoot from the hip and don't take any crap from anybody. Love the fact also you call your donkey Boris, but the real Boris is more than a donkey. Should I tell you more? Love it. I just wanted to say, keep up the good work. I've also started recently watching your YouTube videos as well. I hear in your YouTube videos and your podcast you're coming to London twice this year. Hopefully get to run into you in London. I am heading to WWE Money in the Bank with my sister and her two sons, so I hope to see you at the arena on the day of the show. Keep up the great work. Love the podcast. Love it. And big hearty put the answer as well, Carlos. Brilliant. Not a problem, my friend. As I said, we'll be posting stuff while we're there, letting people that we know we're going to be there. So if you're at Money in the Bank in the London O2 Arena, come and see us. Lewis and I are also off the Wembley Stadium in August for a big show as well. So anybody from the London area or anybody who's going to be in London, if we see you, come up and say hello. Carlos, thanks for your message, my friend. I appreciate it. Right, let's get into the old emails. Does people really email anymore? Like, I don't really email really when it comes to work and stuff like that. But, right, let's have a look here and see. Mirror Army Podcast at yahoo.com. Right, you be. One here from a Gordon. Yes, one here from Gordon says to me, doesn't even say a surname, just says his email address. Gordon wants to know, hi Matthew, I've been watching your channel for a long time now and thought I would say a hello to you in an email. Absolutely love all your content, have been a big fan of yours for the last 4 or 5 years. I saw you in Belfast about 6 months ago with your son and daughter and wanted to approach you, but I felt I was kind of embarrassed because I am kind of shy of a person. Just wanted to say thank you very much for all your great content. Absolutely love it. It kept me sane during COVID, during the time where I couldn't see my girlfriend or even see my son, which was really, really frustrating. Thank you for all your content. I do appreciate it. Love and support to you and your family. Hope everything is good. Also, send my love to your dad after his recent health scare. Take care of yourself, Gordon. See, it's emails like this that make my day. Thanks, Gordon. I appreciate that. Yeah, again, come up and say hello. I've always said this before. Please come up and say hello. I just love listening to you all and talking to you and hearing all your different stories and whatever else. Right, I'm on here from Peter Davis. Davis, D-I-V-I-S. Peter Davis. Look at his email address. Peter Griffin Lover. Love it. Must be a Family Guy support. Peter writes to me saying, "Hi Matthew, I know you're probably fed up of hearing football questions, but I just thought I'd ask you one along with another question as well this week. Do you think Arsenal are going to win the league this year?" I'd love to see them win the league, but I can't see them win the league, but I'd love to see them win the league, but you never know. Also, I've noticed as well, came across one of your videos from a while back with your Funko Pop collection. Could you please give myself and your listeners an update on how many Funko Pops you actually have now? I am a kind of a collector of Funko Pops. I have around about 40. How many have you got in your, what you call, extreme collection now? Ho, ho, ho. As I sit here this morning talking to you, Peter, I actually had an R3 delivered this morning. I am not bullshitting, and I'm being totally honest. I would say I would probably have almost every single one that's ever existed in the WWE collection. That includes a lot of the new ones too. I have a few hundred now, and they are getting out of hand. Like, Tony was around the other night, and he mentioned it to me as well. He was like, "For fuck's sake, bro, how many pops do you have now?" And I'm like, "Tony, it could be worse. I could be spending my money on drugs or spending my money on fucking shit that, you know, why are you collecting them all for?" Because it's a hobby. It could be worse. I could be out fucking spending money on, I don't know, the worst thing in the world, getting pissed 7 nights a week. You know, I'm not. And he was like, "Oh, that's a good point." But yeah, to answer your question, too many. Got North 3 delivered this morning. So I did. So that's to answer your question. I kind of have an addiction to them. I also have other ones, like, you know, the favourite band, Queen. Just a couple of other ones from like movies and stuff like that there as well. But the WWE ones is the main ones. Yeah, you're probably thinking he's a 41-year-old man who's getting on like a big fucking child. But listen, guys, it could be worse. People out there do all collecting different things, and I just enjoy having them. So thanks for your email. I appreciate it. Let's do another email before I go on. Let's have a look here at the lovely, lovely emails from you guys. God, there's so many from you. I actually really enjoy listening to you all. I really, really do. Right, here we go here. Right, I'm going to hear from Arthur Wilson. Arthur Wilson is from Barnsley. Ooh, Barnsley. Never been to Barnsley in my life. Hi Matthew, how you doing? Just want to drop you a wee quick email for your podcast this week, hoping that you get to read this, and hopefully I'm fingers crossed that you will read this out for me. Myself and my wife are big fans of your YouTube channel. We came across you during lockdown in 2020, and we thought you and your family are such a great, funny family. Just wanted to ask you a question. At this present time, do you have a girlfriend? If so, please reveal. Ha ha ha, only kidding. Second of all, what is your goals for the rest of 2023? Take care of yourself. Thanks for taking the time. Hoping to get this read on the podcast or read on the YouTube channel. Big shout out to my wife, Stephanie. Okay, Arthur and Stephanie. Hello. Take care of yourself. All the best, Arthur. Well, there you go. Plans for the rest of 2023 is to enjoy it as much as possible. I am off to London twice. We're off on our summer holiday as well. This summer too as well. So we've got a couple more trips coming up. I want to try and make the most out of 2023 as I can. Because 2022 was an okay year. I obviously done the usual stuff that I've normally done. But obviously 2022 was a pretty shit year for me, personally. But I'm trying to make the most out of it this year as I can. And to answer your other question, do I have a girlfriend? No. No. I have nothing to reveal, guys. I have nothing to hide. And at the end of the day, you know me. If I get into a relationship with someone and it's then time to tell everybody, then I will tell everybody. So, like I got asked there on Sunday at the cup final, you know, "You ever want to get married again, big man?" I'm like, on the laugh. Joking. You know me, guys. I reveal everything on my YouTube channel. I don't hold any punches. You know what I mean? Give you an example. If I am seeing someone and it's only the early stages or whatever, not that it's anything anybody else's business, I wouldn't reveal anything till I knew the relationship was going somewhere. Because you know what it's like, guys, at the start when you meet somebody new, you go out and you meet them. You don't want to blow your trumpet too loud, and then the next minute, a couple of weeks later, they're fucking gone. And then you end up making an absolute fool out of yourself. So, again, you know me, guys. Like when I first started YouTube, I already had a girlfriend, and she was in the vlogs for a couple of years, and then she left. And then with Sandra, it was the same. I said to her at the very start, we were dating for a good few weeks, whatever it was, and we went away on that wee trip to Liverpool. I said to her, once you go on the camera, that's it. Everybody knows you. And she was like, no, it's cool. Come on, let's go. So, yeah, guys, if anything starts to unveil with anybody or anything out there, you know me. I will tell people that I'm dating someone or whatever, and I'm just open and honest with everybody. So, again, if I am seeing someone, say I am right now, whatever, and it's only a couple of weeks, you don't want to sort of tell everybody and say, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going with this girl and all that, and then the next minute it doesn't work out. It's like a pregnancy. The first 3 months is what I call the danger phase. You don't really brag about it to everybody until you get past that wee stage, because you don't want to sort of go, yeah, I'm pregnant, blah, 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 and then say the worst case scenario happens. I know obviously it's a horrible thing to compare that to, but again, I've seen it happen to many times to different people. So again, to answer your question, if anything was to develop, I would let you all know. So, but yeah, 2023 is going to be a better year for me, hopefully. Fingers crossed. It's been going all right so far. So it has. Not too bad so far, but hopefully it gets better. Fingers crossed. So it will be. So, there you go. Anyway, that is it, guys. I'm going to go because I got a really busy day ahead of me today. I took an hour out this morning here to talk to you. On Thursday's podcast, we will have the Jackass of the Week back this week as well. I want to ask you as well before I go, is there any other wee segments at all you'd like to see me bring here to the podcast apart from Jackass of the Week? Any other wee segments you'd like to see, or any suggestions for wee segments? Obviously, let me know by email, Instagram, Facebook, the whole shebang. Let me know what you think. Any other wee things that you'd like me to bring to the program or the show, whatever you want to call it. I would like to hear, obviously, your opinions on it. So I really, really would. But yes, guys, that is going to be me wrapped up for another Tuesday. I hope you all have a good Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'll see you back here on Thursday for the podcast once again. I've got a few more things I want to talk about on Thursday. It may even tell you a couple of wee stories as well, because some of you say you enjoy me telling you a few wee stories, which I'll probably pull one out of the bag and tell you a wee story. But again, if you want to get suggestions in for Jackass of the Week for this week, drop me an email, mirrorarmypodcast@yahoo.com, Facebook page and the old Instagram. Send a message across and we will make a suggestion for the Jackass of the Week for this week. So guys, if you're listening to the podcast here today on Spotify, please add us to your favourite playlists. Also TuneIn Radio, also on Apple Music. And if you're listening to us here on the YouTube channel, the Mirror on My Podcast YouTube channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and stick around for more podcasts here on the channel as well. Right, guys, I'm going to go here now, so get a coffee and get my day started. Busy day ahead, so stay tuned for that vlog coming up as well from Mum and Dad's from yesterday. Good crack. Had a really good day. Stay tuned for that. Right, guys, until Thursday, I will see you back here for another episode of the Mirror on My Podcast. Take care of yourselves out there, guys, and thank you for taking your time out of your day once again to listen to me babble on and all the old nonsense as usual. Love it. Until Thursday, guys, see you all soon. Thanks for listening.